Welcome to Stock Market Investors Interactive Dashboard. We see a bubble visualization at the landing page of our application. The bubble on the left and the right indicate the exchanges. Now, if you want to analyze New York Stock Exchange, we would just click on the left bubble here. And what we see is the various sectors within New York Stock Exchange, starting with services, technology, basic materials, real estate. Now, we clearly see that the bubble for services is a bigger bubble when compared to the other bubbles. Now, the bubble size is in proportion with the market volume of that sector, and hence services is performing really well when it comes to volume. Now, as an investor, I'm right now interested in technology, so I would just go in technology and click on it, and I see various stocks within technology like Orange, China Mobile, VMware. Now, if I want to analyze technology's sector, I would just click on Analyze Volatility here, and this leads to a spider visualization, which is something like this. Now, each ring here denotes a day and time, and these blue lines are nothing but performance fluctuations. I can hover anywhere on the blue lines and see what stock it belongs to and what was the opening price, closing price, and further details. Now, the USP of this visualization is that it allows me as an investor to compare 10 different stocks in just one view, and on hover, I can see additional details. Now, I can switch between various sectors like technology, healthcare, consumer goods, energy. So, as I can clearly see that energies stocks are pretty volatile when we compare it with the previous sector, which is technology. Here, the other features are we can select the various date ranges up to 50, because beyond 50, it might get really cluttered. Now, here itself, it's pretty cluttered. And let's say if I want to analyze only stocks which have average performance which is beyond 0.05 percentage, so I would just filter it and see the needed stocks. Once that is done, once I've analyzed various sectors, I would, as a safe investor, I would want to invest in a stable sector, and hence I would switch back to technology, and I'm no more interested in energy. So I just switch back, and I maybe let's say this looks pretty stable, so I click on Telefonica and just click on it, which leads me to a time series visualization. Now, to start with, the bottom of this visualization is uh, is denoting time. The axis on the right is price in dollars. The axis on the left is percentage fluctuations. The interactive feature here is that I can hover anywhere on this graph and see how the stock has been performing. So if I want to see what this peak is, what was the price on 9th of September, so I'll see a sticker on the right which is indicating $10.95, and I can, if I'm interested in a specific area, I can just go over there and I can scroll the mouse to zoom into it and see the detailed results. So what I see is essentially a candlestick chart moving across. Now, each of these candles are either green or red. Now, the green candle denotes that today's closing price has been more than the yesterday's closing price. On the contrary, the red denotes the opposite. Now, if we look at this particular candle here, the top of the candlestick denotes the high price, the top of the candle denotes the open price, the bottom of the candle denotes close price, and the bottom of the candlestick denotes the low price. Now, these three lines that are spanning across the graph are denoting moving averages. If the simple moving average points up, this means that the securities price is increasing. If it is pointing down, it means that the securities price is decreasing. The longer the time frame for the moving average, the smoother the simple moving average. A shorter term moving average is more volatile, but its reading is closer to the source data. So these are the interactive features here. Also, the gray bars at the bottom denote the volume traded on that day, and the other visualizations here are OHLC visualization, which can be seen by just clicking on this button at the top right, and it's essentially like candlestick, but it's a different view to look at. We can switch from OHLC to feed OHLC, which is like a live feed, which starts from the inception of the stock Telefonica, and it will show me the trend of the stock since the beginning of time till today, with additional features like mouse scroll over, volume traded, and simple moving averages over 10 and 20 days, as indicated at the legend on the top left. Now, these are the three essential time series visualizations that we have, and then we can lead to this visualization from the individual bubble as well. So if we click on Verizon, we come to the same thing. Now we've analyzed various technical indicators which can help an investor make smart decisions. So we finalized 5 crucial technical indicators, starting with standard deviation. So when we click over there, we get a standard deviation graph at the bottom. Now, if we see on an average, the standard deviation for Verizon is around 1. And if we switch back to Telefonica graph, we'll see that the average standard deviation is around 0.34. Now, what this indicates is lower the standard deviation, lower the volatility of the stock, and depending on my preference, if I'm looking to invest in a volatile stock, I would rather invest in Verizon and not in Telefonica. Now, the second investor that we have is CCI, which is Commodity Channel Index. This indicator fluctuates above or below zero, moving into positive or negative territory. While most values will fall between -100 and +100 over here, but about 25% of the values will fall outside this range, indicating a lot of weakness or strength in the price movement. When the CCI is above 100, in cases like this, it indicates that the price is well above the average price as measured by the indicator. And if it goes below 100, like in situations like here and here, it indicates that the price is well below the average price. So a basic CCI strategy is to watch for the CCI to move above 100 to generate buy signals for an investor like me. And if it goes below -100, it triggers a sell or a short trade signal. The next indicator that we've added is on-balance volume. So it's nothing but a momentum indicator that measures positive and negative volume flow. And it is believed that when the volume increases or decreases dramatically without any significant change in the stock's price, which can be seen above here, then at some point the price would spring either upward or downward, which could be useful for some investors. The next indicator that we've added is moving average convergence divergence, which is over here. Now, MACD is a trend following momentum indicator that shows the relationship between two moving averages of prices. It is calculated by subtracting the 26 days exponential moving average from the 12 days exponential moving average. Now, in this indicator, the red line that we see here is the signal line, and the blue line that we see here is the MACD. Now, if in the graph, if we see MACD falling below the signal line, it indicates a bearish signal, which indicates that it may be a good time to sell the stock. So if we see over here, we see that MACD has fallen below the signal line, which could be a bearish signal, and probably it's a good indication to sell the stock. Conversely, when the MACD rises above the signal line, the indicator gives an indication to buy the stock, which is happening somewhere here and many places. So this is a pretty good, helpful indicator. The final indicator that we have added is the relative strength index. The values for this indicator are essentially between 30 and 70, which can be seen here, 30 and 70 by the red dotted lines. But there are instances where the indicator goes beyond 70 and also below 30. So what it indicates is if the value is beyond 70, it indicates that the stock has been overbought, and eventually people are going to sell it. And if the value is below 30, it indicates that the stock has been oversold, and eventually people are going to buy it back. So to summarize, these 5 are the critical indicators, and all together, all 4 visualizations provide a comprehensive financial stock market research dashboard that assists an investor like me in taking wise decisions in the stock market. Thank you.